I became a vegan about 6 months ago because of one particular encounter I had with entities which I will recount here. I recently posted this as a comment in another thread, but it went unnoticed, so I am editing it and reposting it here. This was not my first encounter. The house that I was renting was in an isolated rural area, and I had many encounters inside of my house with the phenomena while I lived there. This encounter took place around 3:30 a.m. after I had worked a 16-hour shift on the previous day, so I was exhausted when I had finally gotten to go home. When I got home I decided to take out the trash, but the garbage bag broke while I was pulling it out of the garbage bin in my kitchen. The garbage can had been overflowing and the bag was overstuffed, since I had not taken out the garbage in almost 2 weeks because I was working so much at the hospital. So when I tried to pull out the bag broke and garbage flew everywhere. It would take me a long time to clean up the mess and I could barely keep my eyes open, so I just left it where it was and went straight to bed. I woke up to urinate but heard voices arguing inside of my kitchen, so I laid in bed and held it as long as humanly possible before I finally couldn't wait any longer for them to leave, and then I silently snuck into the bathroom. Of course once I was there I absolutely couldn't hold it anymore, so I instantly started pissing with the door open and they immediately stopped arguing, probably when they heard my heavy stream of urine loudly hitting the water in the toilet bowl. I really had to go after holding it for so long, so it was pretty loud and took a while. I wanted to pee just a little bit and then go take a look in the kitchen, but once I started urinating I couldn't stop. There had been 4 voices arguing inside of my kitchen where the garbage was lying on the ground. At least one of them had been in my house before, and I had what I thought were dreams or nightmares about being abducted. Their language sounded like a Creole-like combination of multiple human languages, like a mix of the throaty, wet-spitting sounds of Arabic and the tonality of Russian and Chinese. I heard distinct words that reminded me of these languages and I wish I knew more about linguistics. They were speaking loudly, angrily and quickly, so fast that they almost sounded like they were all speaking simultaneously, while one tiny, small feminine-sounding voice seemed to be meekly protesting what they were all saying, pleading with them. When I finished urinating I grabbed a pair of scissors and rushed to the kitchen only to stop short because of what I saw. I saw what I can only call a mirage in my kitchen. There was a transparent, fluctuating invisible wall in my kitchen between me and them, so I could see an image of my empty kitchen, but I could not see them. The mirage was roughly 6 or 7 feet tall and maybe 8 to 10 feet across. It didn't entirely fill the kitchen, I think it only hid them where they were standing. I kept slowly walking towards the kitchen after I looked around my surroundings, and sure enough, my vision was clear. There was no fluctuating haze or blurry image in my living room or in the laundry room to my side. Only part of the kitchen had the strange optical effect inside of it. I got a few feet from the kitchen and was still holding the scissors when something leapt out of the kitchen and crouched on the carpet just outside of it. It was small, about 3 feet tall, and when it crouched down with its belly to the ground its legs were splayed off to the side at a 90-degree angle to its body, bent almost exactly like a frog's legs. Its hands were resting beneath its chin, palms flat on the floor. It was transparent, like glass, but it looked like a tiny, stereotypical big-headed grey alien, and judging from its position it was getting ready to pounce on me if I came any closer. I got the impression that its large eyes protruded a little bit from its head, as if they were lenses or goggles attached to a helmet. I could barely see it and it moved completely silently. I stopped, looked directly at it, looked back at the mirage wall floating in the kitchen, said okay, to hell with this, dramatically slammed my scissors onto the kitchen counter so they could tell that I wasn't going to attack, turned around 180 degrees so there would be no mistaking my intent, and I went back to bed. I locked my bedroom door, grabbed a knife from my camping gear in the closet, and eventually fell asleep with it, sheathed, in my hands on my chest. In the morning I went directly to the kitchen and cleaned up my mess. I think they were arguing about the contents of the pile of trash in my kitchen and I felt ashamed of myself. In the trash were the bones of several chickens, some rotten vegetables that had gone bad a long time ago, and tons of pizza boxes and bottles that I felt were a testament to how wasteful we are, and I fought a compulsion to take the bones outside and bury them. Leaving the remains of what had once been a living creature in a pile of trash suddenly felt very disrespectful of me. That was not my first or last encounter with the phenomenon. I had several others that were completely different and possibly with other kinds of entities, as well as some nightmares that I suspect may have been repressed memories of real events. But I am posting because I would like to undergo hypnotic regression specifically to see if I can recall details or words that they were saying in this particular event that I had while fully awake and lucid. I want to remain 100% anonymous.